Cheslin Colby can step a man in a mobile toilet. They're saying British Airways versus Air Willemse. They're saying English breakfast. Nah, 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 nah. It was a Springbok braai at Ellis Park. 52,000 people in attendance. Second half masterclass. Dean, your thoughts on the game?
I grind because I gotta get paid. 1% chance, 99% faith.
Hey man, Cheslin Colby sent him back to England, eh? What a game! What a game! Where do we start? I don't even know where to start. We're gonna get into it in the episode, but great performance, great start to the year. Yeah, man, we're gonna take this trophy. We're taking the trophy.
100%, 100%. It's only the beginning. We had to start off big. It was a bit of a shaky start there in the beginning. But it was a good start actually in the beginning, and then became a bit shaky after the first 30 minutes. But we'll get into all of that. First things first, there was a bit of drama in terms of the lineup. Sia Kolisi went out. Ebenetibet also had to go out. Both of them injured in training throughout the week. That's how tough the Springboks training is. And then, Rassie Erasmus decided to bring in PDV for his debut. Cameron Hanekom came off the bench to start that match as well. And he brought in then Ben Jason Dixon. What did you think about the change up in the squad? And did you think it affected us, the injuries before the match?
I can't lie. I'm a bit concerned with the lock situation right now. It's looking grim, yeah.
Yeah.
Ben Jason Dixon came in. Cameron Hanekom came in. I think Cameron Hanekom had a bit of a, by his standards, an underwhelming game. Not a bad game though. Just he did the basics, but he didn't really stand out for me. They even took him off very early, so I think for him, but he's still easy into a Springbok setup, so that's okay. And then Ben Jason Dixon came in, also solid performance, nothing outstanding, So the lock situation right now is a bit concerning. I heard that Itzebeth was out because of a concussion, so I'm sure by the next match he's probably going to be back in. But if you're thinking long term, we need, I know Norton was supposed to be coming into the fold now, but we really need to look at that lock situation because without the injuries, the locks, our starting locks, they're all getting on in age. So that is something we should be addressing for the next World Cup, bringing in new blood. It's interesting to see what Rassie is going to do now, going in the next few games. Is he going to call up Elrich Rowe to the 23? Because Elrich Rowe can be a line-out option as well. We'll see. But for me, it's a bit concerning right now.
Yeah, 100%. We're struggling as well in the lineout in the beginning of the match. Our own lineouts actually, I think we probably lost a few, maybe 3 in that first half. So you could tell that it was actually showing in the match that we are having a bit of a lock issue right now. And like you said, I think you texted me earlier on that with Pieter-Steph obviously moving to the number 4 position, with him playing lock, with him playing in the back row, sometimes it provides that third option in terms of the lineout option, and which obviously gives us much more to work with at the lineout. It's all been so good over the past few years in terms of set pieces. But yeah, even in the match, we did get a few more injuries. Oxenchair, the bull, after that magnificent run, he had a knee injury. He had a knee issue, and I think he had the same issue a couple of weeks back or a couple of months back. They took him out as well. And then Andre the Giant, Andre 3000, he also had to go out with a head concussion just as soon as he came on. So we're having a bit of an injury crisis, injury issue right now. But I think it's also a nice opportunity for Rassie to play the young boys. We saw Zach Porton coming in, that run team. Zach coming in, Cameron Hanekom now being given an opportunity to start. And, Ben Jason Dixon again, redemption arc. What can he do now that he's back? But onto some good things, It was Cheslin's 50th, Willemse's 50th. Hey, the skies were his, man. Player of the match, man of the match. I know they gave it to Damien Dialeni. They had an issue with the name Damien. They gave it to Damien Dialeni. But it was Damien Willemse's match, man of the match. What did you think of the two 50th caps?
I think to start with Damien Willemse, shock. one of his best 15 performances for us. Under the high ball, confident, catching everything, plucking it out the sky. I think he lost maybe one aerial battle. Everything
Yeah.
else he was dominating in the air. There was one situation where we got the ball in our 22. He's right on the touchline. It's a banana kick from our 22 to their 22. Then we get a 50-22. Like, who in world rugby can do that, bro? Who can hit a kick from the 22 in the corner to your opponent's 22 and get your team a 50-22 and an attacking lineup? He was outstanding, man. Outstanding. He looks like he's
Cool.
back to his best. He looks motivated. I saw he was a bit emotional when he was singing the anthem. What a performance. Best 15 in world rugby right now. I don't care. Don't chat to me about no one else. Best fullback in world rugby right now. And shout out Damien Delindi as well. I know you're saying I got the names wrong. He also had a very good performance. I was impressed. He was off the boot. He had a bit of a kicking game as well. He looks like the more he's getting on and maturing in rugby, he's changing his game a bit. Ellis. In the beginning, he was like a bulldozer type player. But now, as he's getting on in age, I see he's being a bit more calculated. He's kicking a bit more, you know. So he also had a good performance, but wow, man. And then Colby, what can we say? Like I said, step that player, sent him back to England. Yeah?
How many times has he done that? He did it in the World Cup. He did it last season when we played them from that pass from Damien Delaney. I think he scored 2 tries in that match. Hey, man, there's something against the British for sure. But, going through the match, beginning, there was a lot of kicking, a lot of high balls. That's when, Damien Willemse was shining. And, we started off strong. Started off with the Thomas du Toit try. And then I think it was Kobe's try, the second one. We're playing quite fast ball. And then KLA Curtly Orense comes in. He also gets his tries. So both the wingers got their tries. And, I know England also had some injury issues. George Furbank had to be called out. Also got injured through, I think he had a stomach issue that took him to the hospital. And then Smith came in, which I think he had a brilliant game. Just speaking on some of the English players, he had a brilliant game on the counter attack. They gave us a lot of issues. And we had a fast start, and then we kind of slowed down. I think as soon as England got into the motion, as soon as they started getting the ball, you could see that they were showing off with their attack. And I think that was right after Curtly Orense's yellow card. Just on the ref watch, did you think that was a yellow card? Did you think he was trying to get the ball? I know he was going with one hand. What do you think about the yellow card?
It's one of those like where it's a 50-50 one. Like if he doesn't give a yellow card, you understand why. If he gives one, you understand why. My thing is that he was in the passing lane, so it was literally between the two men. He was in the passing lane, so you can't really say that he's not attempting to catch the ball. He's literally in the passing lane. But then by the laws, he went up by one hand, so it's not a genuine attempt to catch the ball. So I think by the law, yes, it's a yellow card, but in a moment, if you're playing rugby and you're standing right there in the passing lane and the ball comes over your head, you're just going to leave it. Every rugby player is going to try stop that ball from getting to the next player. So penalty, it is probably a yellow card, but then also it's so far from the try line. So
I was about
maybe
to say
it's
it was
just a
way
penalty.
back.
Yeah, maybe it's just a penalty and not a yellow card because the yellow card is obviously for denying try scoring opportunity. But it was so far. Manny Libok was also covering at the back. So I don't know, man. I don't know. It was a bit harsh in my opinion.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. And also I think that's when the momentum started changing for England as soon as the player went down for the Springboks. Jamie George, or was it? Yeah, Jamie George, I think he got a try disallowed. And then eventually George Martin, just before the second half finished, George Martin and Ellis both got tries. That's when England were really pushing forward when we were the man down. And I think the cards did play some sort of role in this match. I know in the second half, towards the end of the match, England were down to 13 players. They had the guy Pepper, he just came on and then he went out with the tackling the man at the ball. And I think Freeman was it that tackled Willemse with the high tackle. I think you texted me saying that was also a bit soft. They replayed it a few times and then, ended up giving him the yellow card. About that one, what's your comments on that high tackle on Damien Willemse towards the end of the match?
I think similar to the Alonso one, by the letter of the law, it's probably a yellow card, but it's so tough because everything looks worse in slow motion. Like before the ref stopped the game, right? While the game was going on, when that happened, I'm sure a lot of people didn't even like pay attention to that. It's only when they stopped the game and then they went to TMO and they looked at it again. But in full speed, you barely see that because he's charging at full speed, right? Damien catches it, he comes down, he dips. As he dips, Freeman gets there. So like it's like yep, he had like maybe a split second where to adjust to tackling Damien. So it's one of those where in full speed you understand. If you watch it in full speed, you'd be like, okay, it's a bit harsh. But then when you slow it down, it looks worse. Obviously, there's head contact. So it's one of those where by the letter of the law, it is yellow. But if you play rugby, like come on, man, he's coming at full speed. He has no time to adjust, and he barely he doesn't like really touch Damien. It's not significant contact, So also a bit of a harsh one, but in the end, I guess the right call.
Yeah, there was head contact, and I think obviously over the past few years, in terms of the refs, World Rugby has developed this thing where any sort of head contact is you're always gonna get a yellow card. And then obviously depending on how bad it is, how severe it was in terms of mitigation and everything, then they'll take it up with the TMO for the review. I think it was a bit soft as well when I saw it. When you put it in normal speed, it touches his entire body, so that it including the head as well. They were both straight up, but yeah, man, like I said, with World Rugby and where they're going, it'll always be a yellow card as soon as you touch the head. It was quite a soft one, and I'm glad Willemse is good
Yeah,
as well.
but it's frustrating because they say World Rugby says, right? They say not all head contact is penalty, is a foul. Obviously, it's rugby.
Mhm.
There's gonna be head contact, so they always say not all head contact, but then it seems like all head contact is yellow card now. That's the way it looks in the games. As soon as you touch someone's head, it looks like it's just a yellow card all the time. I mean, it's rugby, bro. Like, there's no way you can go full 18 minutes and your head doesn't touch any other player. Like, it's a bit tough, but I guess the players still just have to adjust to the law. It's one of those things where maybe 5 years from now, it's not going to be a thing because all the players would have adjusted. Now you have to go low every time. It's one of
Yeah.
those, it's like a habit thing. We have to force it and repetitively remind the players to adjust to this law. But me personally, even as someone who played rugby, I don't like the law. I feel like it's harsh. It's unrealistic. It's like every game now there's a yellow card because of it.
Mhm. Yeah, I remember the New Zealand Springbok final in the 2023 World Cup. I think it was only maybe 20 minutes into the match, and then Sam Kane had to go out, which obviously changes the entire dynamics of the game because of head contact again. So it's quite controversial. And I was just thinking, if this was implemented in the days of Victor Matfield and Bucky Sporter, I don't think we'd have any players on the pitch.
100%. Bakis would never see a full 80 minutes ever.
100%, 100%. Yeah, yeah, we had a good start, and England started coming back into the match. Halftime, it was 17-14. I was a bit shaky there, but I knew it was also being contributed with Curtly Aronsa being out on the sin bin. And before getting to the second half, Ellis Park, it looked quite full. I think the attendance was about 52,000 people there, and quite a surprised. I remember I posted something during the week where they were struggling to sell even 50% of the ticket sales, and SA Rugby ended up slashing the prices towards the end of the week to get people to buy more and buy more. And they ended up filling up the stadium. They now came out and said that they're not doing that ever again, dropping the prices ever again. What did you think about the attendance? Did you expect it? Were you a bit surprised, or
I wasn't surprised. Firstly, the stadium wasn't full. You could see there were not a lot, but there were empty seats. Usually for a
Mhm.
Springbok England game, you'd expect it to be packed. First rugby game of the season, mind you.
yeah,
So yeah, it looks like, yeah, okay, there was 50 something thousand. The stadium was as full as it always is. So you can significantly see that there was a dip in attendance. And then I think also what boosted the attendance is obviously they cut the prices this week. So that boosted the attendance. So we can't actually see if they didn't cut the prices. I wonder what the attendance would have been. But that statement, man, BS, bro. BS. How can you say, we're not going to do that again? You didn't sell tickets. You then had to cut the prices. You then sold tickets. And now you're saying, no, we're not doing that again. You're not seeing the message. People are not buying tickets. It's a message from fans to say, we can't afford this. Listen to the message. They're just taking this stance of, no, we're not reducing the ticket prices. So you don't care about the fans. You don't care about the message the fans are trying to send you. That's what I'm getting from that statement. That's BS, yo.
Yeah, no, same. I think they also said that they make their profits at 80% capacity. So to them, it's purely business, and it's a bit weird because as much as it is a business at the end of the day, the message that they put out, the players and Rasi, when you're watching these documentaries, they say we're doing this for the fans, we're doing this for the people in South Africa, the people watching. But now it just seems that the brand has grown from the people in South Africa, and now they just want to go on their own and achieve their KPIs and their targets. And as long as they're making money,
What's
you
funny
know,
enough? What's funny enough is that they can't say that they can't reduce the ticket prices. They can't come out and say, no, we need to keep it this price for XYZ because you cut the ticket prices down during the week, meaning it is possible for you to reduce the price.
yeah.
So they can't come out and say, no, we need this price to cover our costs or whatever. But you cut it now last week. So then that means it is possible to sell it at a lower price. You know what I mean?
Facts. But yeah, there was Ellis Park next week against Scotland. We'll be playing in Loftus. We'll be playing at Loftus. I don't know. You going to the match? Maybe I don't know when last you attended a Springbok match.
You know, so you would tell us more about you busy coming from here. But I'm
They,
gonna see. I'm gonna try and get some tickets. I like
yeah.
Loftus. Before going to Loftus over Ellis Park, to be honest, it's a better vibe. It's easier to
Mhm.
get in and out of the stadium and stuff like that. So I'm gonna see. I'm gonna try and get tickets. We'll see. I think it'll be a good game as well. But I don't think you've ever watched a Springbok game. Just coming from me.
They barely play in Cape Town. They used to play in Newlands. I don't even think I wasn't that invested in going to watch. Just watch it on the TV. It's like it is what it is.
I'll just be honest. You're broke. It's fine, bro. Just
Yeah, I'm trying to say I was broken,
it's fine.
but
Like,
now,
I wasn't invested. You're broke. It's fine, bro.
but now, it's a different conversation. Now, yeah, let us know in the comment sections if you guys are gonna go watch that match. If you went to the Ellis Park match after the price drops, maybe some people ended up getting the cheaper tickets. Let us know in the comment section. And yeah, man, back to the match, back to the actual match. I was excited to see the new boys, PDV. I've been watching him in the URC. He's such a quality back rower. The Jackler, like you said, you were complaining before the start of the match when we were discussing the lineup that as much as our back rows is good in terms of Sia, Peter Steph, and Jasper, we don't actually have a Jackler. So someone like Dwayne Vermeulen. But PDV is here now. He's taking up that role. He's ready to stamp his name on that field. PDV, Cameron Hanekom, and Zach in the second half when he came on. What did you think of the new guys' performances?
I think standout for me was Zach. I actually, as the game was going on, I was like, okay, I see why they selected him over some of the other options that we had. He's just
Yeah.
as a prop. Okay, maybe he's not as good of a scrummager as some of the options we could have selected, but he's so mobile. Like he's very mobile on the pitch. His defense was amazing. He was taking tackles. He almost looked like a flanker. He was everywhere on defense, and then obviously his ball carrying ability as well. So I think that's what gave him the edge in terms of selection and why they went for him. I think out of the new boys, I think he was the standout. He was the standout for me. Great impact off the bench. I think Cameron Hanekom and PDV, they had solid games. Still, no one had a bad game. Like I said, I don't think Cameron Hanekom really got a lot of opportunities to run with the ball, which is his biggest thing. So we didn't really get to see him stand out and shine like that. PDV, I know he tried to get that steal, and the whole first half he was trying to get that steal. Cost us a penalty
100.
as well. he was desperate for it. But yeah, man, I think all of them did well. I think they'll grow into the jersey. I think you can see there's a big difference between club rugby and international rugby, because club rugby, these boys look like head and shoulders above everyone else. And then you play a national test match, and you see, okay, they did well, but like they didn't stand out, you know. So I think you can see that test rugby is just a level above, and it's really a level above club rugby. But they'll grow into the jersey. I think as they get used to the system, the team, I think they'll get better and better. Or none of them had a bad game, but definitely for me, Zach, the standout.
Zach, I agree. I agree. I think the videos on our Instagram of that bulldoze run, we absolutely mauled. I think it was 4 or 5 people. And man, the guy looks big. I don't know if he's gotten even bigger or what. But you're right about test match levels. It's very different. And funny thing with the Springbok players, sometimes at club level you'll see them throughout the URC or wherever they play in Europe or in Japan. They'll be playing very very mid or have a mid season. But as soon as they touch the Springboks camp, it looks like an absolutely different player. I think that goes with Zach as well. I've watched him at Stormers. He's good. He does what he needs to do, but at Springbok level, a lot of the players turn up there. And yeah, speaking of Cameron Hanekom, speaking of PDV, the Springboks back rowers, did Henry Pollock come on?
Where's he at, bro? Did he play?
Wait,
Where is he? Well, I thought he was in the 23, bro. Like I saw his name on the sheet, but then I don't know, man. was he there?
The only highlight I saw was him speaking to Sia, and Sia's injured. Sia didn't play, so
Maybe he also didn't play. Maybe he was on the bench sitting next to Sia, man. I didn't see him.
I think they took the picture mid-match, bro. They might have taken the picture mid-match. Yeah, Henry Pollock, I think he came on second half. Didn't really have much of an impact. The crowd was going a bit crazy there. And yeah, what did you think of the England performance overall? Do you think Steve Borthwick would be happy with his team, the fight that they gave? They've had a bit more game time together with the Six Nations that they played earlier in the year. We haven't really played any test level matches since 2026 started. This was our first match. You can see we're a bit rusty. But they got a groove going end of second half, and second half, end of the first half, and then second half we kind of blew them away. Do you think he'll be happy with his team, his fights, Marcus Smith, the backline?
Okay, yeah, I think England had a good game actually. I think a lot of positives to take away from the game. I think on attack they looked good, man. They looked good when they got that quick ball. They were actually quite clinical every time they got the entry to our 22. Most of the time they came away with the points, except for the couple of times where they gave away a penalty, discipline, the disallowed try. But they're actually quite clinical. So I think the attack looked good, good line speed. I liked both number 9s played well. I think the Finn Smith as well, good game. Number 10 controlling it, very accurate with the boot. It's like he doesn't miss that guy. So I think a lot of positives from England. They competed for about 60 minutes of that game. They were in it. Just at the end, we blew them away. Like I think that's where our depth came. We showed our depth, especially the bomb squad coming on. That's where we took the game away from them. But I think for most of the game, they were in it. Like I said, attack was looking good, quick ball, clinical in our 22, good kicking game that number 10 played well. I think the only question marks I would have is Marcus Smith. He had a good game on attack, as he always does. But defensively, if he's going to be there 15 going forward, he's a bit suspect defensively, in my opinion. Like if we're currently up to try 1v1, we've got to take him out there. You can't let him score. So I think that's one question mark is number 15. Is he going to be there 15 going forward? If so, is he good enough under the high ball, number 1? And defensively, can he hold it down at 15? But we know attack, we know what he can do. But like I said, a lot of positives. Their set piece was good as well. They caused us a lot of problems in the lineouts. Scrum, they competed. We didn't really get a lot of scrum penalties. We didn't drive them back in the scrum. So I think going forward, I think England are going to have a good tournament for sure. 100% they're going to have a tournament.
Yeah, I 100% agree with everything that you said. They competed, and like you said, at the set piece, they gave us a lot of issues at the scrum. There was no pure scrum dominance, even though we had probably our best pack in. obviously up until Ox went out. And yeah, I'll also have the same questions when it comes to Marcus Smith at the back. You know, George Furbank was obviously supposed to start, and then he got injured, and he's very good under the high balls, very good defensively as well. And I'd probably still like to see Marcus, compete for that number 10 spot. Seems like they've just moved him to competing for fullback now. In terms of there's Finn Smith there now, there's George Ford. I'd still love to see Marcus in the middle of the pitch. And the other backline players, they were quite quiet in that match. Frenop also, he had a few meters, few gains and runs here and there, but I was enjoying. I enjoy watching him. I had him in my combined 15 instead of Kurtley Aronson, and obviously Kurtley scored in this match.
And I didn't agree. I want everyone to know, me, I would have put Kurtley Aronson. Me personally, I would put Kurtley Aronson. But Faber was he's a good player.
Yeah. No, I think I was basing it off the Six Nations form compared to Kurtley. He just came back to the Bulls from Japan. It seemed like we're still catching up promotion. But hey man, what can I say? He scored. So just showing that who should have taken that spot.
As he always does, eh? He always does. I wonder what he's like. Games to try ratio is, because it's like it feels like he scores in every single Springbok Test match.
I know. Fact. Him, Will Jordan, and Damian Pennell. I wanna do a comparison between their international try test records, but because those guys score, and sometimes he doesn't even pop up in the match like doing crazy things or crazy runs, but one thing that he'll do is score. Like, he's so clinical.
Yeah, and I remember we were calling for Edwall to maybe get an opportunity. I think Rugby reminded us that, look, I'm a big dog here, so
relax. Yeah, no. Springboks off to a good start in the Nations Championship. The new format, obviously, Northern versus Southern Hemisphere, and a great win against England 45-21. I think the final score was. Rasir Rasmus will definitely be happy with the team, with the camp. First match for 2026. So, he'll definitely be settled. Nerves are settled. Hopefully the next match we can get a few of the players back. See if his hamstring is fine. But it's a bit. He's been having a lot of head injuries over the past year or so, and obviously that suspension. So he hasn't had a lot of games. I'm hoping to see him in that Scotland match. And speaking of Scotland, we're playing them next week. That's our next match, Saturday, 11 July at Loftus Versfeld. Dean says he might go, he might not. We'll see. And yeah, man, Scotland's a very good attacking side. Obviously, they captain the Storm, Tui Pollock, Finn Russell there, taking charge of the attack, running things. What are your thoughts on the match? Do you think we'll take it? I mean, we're unbeaten against Scotland on South African soil. They've only beat us 5 times, but all of those wins have been on their home ground at Murrayfield. Do you think we take it? Do you think it'll be a thrashing contest?
No, look, very, very different opposition to England. We last week we said that England played very similar to us. They look to get that set piece dominance. The forwards drive the game forward for them. Scotland are a bit different. Their backline is their strength. 100% their backline is their strength. So they look to run the ball a bit more. They look to get the ball in the hands of their star players, to Pollock or Finn Russell. So very different to England. But I think that plays into our strengths. If you come to the Springboks and you want to play a running game, good luck. If the game opens up for us, we might just put them away. But it's going to be a very different game to what we witnessed. I think it'll be an exciting game. A lot of exciting backline players to watch. I love watching Finn Russell play. I think we're going to have too much for them in terms of, I think our forwards are going to dominate their forwards. I think we're going to dominate the scrum. So I think that's what will give us the edge over Scotland. England competed with us on that front. They did very well, but I think Scotland, we have too much firepower in our forward pack compared to what they have. But yeah, like I said, they have some very dangerous backs, so they can score a try out of nothing. So it'll be a very entertaining game. I think more running rugby than we saw this weekend. I think the Springboks will look to go into that game and try not let the game get loose, because that suits Scotland. You don't let the game get loose. Don't let it become a up and down. The Springboks will look to slow it down, play the set pieces, play the kicking game. dominate them with the forwards. So, but I think we're gonna have too much for them in the forward pack, and it will end up winning the game.
I 100% agree. They're a bit one-dimensional, like you said. A lot of focus on the back line. We can switch up a game very easily. I know even in the match against England, Rassi Rasmus and the team was speaking a lot about the match that we played last year at Ellis Park against Australia, where we flat out played Tony ball, and they ended up coming back in the second half and absolutely beating us. So they've went back to alternating between our forward game and the backline game, and I think that's how also we ended up winning the England match in the second half. And yeah, I'm looking forward to the match against Scotland. Should be some really good tries. Yeah, I'm looking forward to the backline challenge. And just to end things off, I did a team of the weekend, and I'll just list out the starting 15 that I had, the best players over the weekend. I got to watch the France versus New Zealand highlights and watch the full match. I watched the highlights,
I
and
watched
I watched
full
a bit
game.
of the.
I watched that full game, and my boy, what a what a game, bro. That's one of the best rugby games I've watched in a while. France score, England, France score, New Zealand score, France score, New Zealand score. They were literally going toe for toe for toe for toe. And I think out of all the test rugby matches I've watched recently in the last couple of years, that match had the least amount of box kicks I've seen in a test match game. Like, both teams were they were looking to attack. It was attack versus attack. Oh, what a game, man. What a game. I think France are looking scary because that wasn't their strongest side. And they
Yeah,
compete New Zealand till the very end. So France are looking scary, scary.
yeah. I feel like I saw the full match because the highlights were like 30 minutes, just back and forth, back and forth. And yeah, look at you. You got up early for that match. So shout out team. And then I watched the Argentina Scotland match after the Springboks match. Also quite a contestable match. I think the top, let's say top 8 teams in terms of international rugby, in terms of ranking, they're so close to each other now that there's an underdog now. Even Wales got their second win in a row now.
Mm.
So there's no weak team anymore.
Yeah, no,
But
100%.
yeah,
I think that has closed. It used to be like a top maybe 4, and then everyone else. But now it's like you said, those top big teams, anyone can beat anyone on any day.
yeah, no, 100%, 100%. So yeah, the top 15 players over the past weekend, the first match week of the Nations Championship. I'm gonna read out the names, and then you just let me know if you perhaps think that person is the right one for the position, and they were the best player. I know you didn't watch all the matches, or you think you have another pick. We'll go through the players. So at number 1 for me, I have Ellis. He scored a try. He stopped the Springboks scrum. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree.
Ellis Gench. Okay, that's number 1. Number 2, hooker Malcolm Marx, the big man.
Nah, 100%, 100%. I agree.
World Player of the Year 2025. And also he scored a try in the second half, as he always does. And then number 3, Thomas the Tank the Toit also scored a try in the Springboks.
I don't know about that one. He had a good game, but was he the
Uh,
best number 3 of the round? I don't know about that one. That one I'm shaky on. I can't lie.
yeah, there wasn't any other big performers in terms of really strong dominance from the matches that I watched through the highlights that I saw. Tyrell Lomax, he was on the bench actually for New Zealand. Ethan the Good, I think he also had a shaky match, some disciplinary issues. So I went for the Toit.
Yeah, remember England's first try. Detroit missed the tackle for that try, so I'm a bit shaky on that pick.
Okay. We'll leave that one there. And then, okay, for the lock positions, I don't think there can be any Springbok players. We don't even have our full locks out. I have England's George Martin also scored a try against the Springboks here on the wing. I
That's
think he
that's
beat
the
two
way he
defenders.
bounced Visa. The way he bounced Visa. Yo, I've never
Hey,
seen Visa get bounced like that, yo.
imagine. He's a big guy. He's a big guy. And then at number 5, Sam Derry from the All Blacks. I think you watched that match. I don't know if he scored a try or he had the most tackles from the match. I think 23
Mm.
tackles. He was very involved in that match.
No, he had an amazing game. Amazing game.
Yeah, Sam Derry. And then at number 6, Ben Gunter. This is a Japan player. I think he had 2 tries in that match and the most tackles as well. He was just outstanding for the Asian side.
Okay, I didn't watch that game, but if the stats you're saying are true, then shout out to him. Shout out to Japan. Japan also improving a lot, eh? I think
Shout
they
out to
benefiting from getting a lot of foreign players in the league. They really improving as well. They closing the gap to those top 8 teams as well.
big facts, big facts. There's a lot of SA players that play there. And shout out to Eddie Jones as well, the coach. And at number 7, I have Jack Morgan. I don't think that's the Wales player. Also, player of the match for Wales against Fiji. They won against Fiji, their second match in a row. I couldn't think of any other top performers in the back row, especially the Springbok and England match. Maybe the New Zealand France match. I don't know.
Nah, it's I agree with that pick, but it's good to see in general. It's just good to see that Wales are coming back.
Mhm.
They've always been a rugby powerhouse. When we were growing up, they used to be top 3, 4, 5 teams in the world. So it's good to see Wales making a comeback. We need a good Wales. Rugby needs a good Wales.
No, for sure, 100%, 100%. Then at number 8, Aaron Wainwright, Mr. Scotland number 8, or the Wales number 8. Sorry, he also had a good match. Contributed a lot to them winning. Also, couldn't think of any other big number 8 performances. Adi Savia playing number 8 for the All Blacks now.
Mm.
He's been switching between number 7, number 8.
Mm.
So yeah, number
No,
8, I have
I'm
him
happy
in
with.
there. Okay, okay. And then into the back line, 2 tries, top performer. You probably saw him, Cam Reigart. Oh,
I
what
won't
a
lie, yo. I won't lie. He's looking like he's competing to be the best 9 in the world. He was. He reminds me of Foridu Priya in terms of, you get 9s like that have different styles, right? You'll get a 9 like Grant Williams that's he's doing the basics well, but then he's a threat on attack. He can snipe, he can break the line. Then you get 9s that like Foridu Priya, like Faf de Klerk used to do it as well, who actually control the game. They're almost controlling the game with the fly off. He's one of those 9s where he's not just he's not giving the fly off and the fly off is controlling the backline. He's actually controlling the attack from the number 9 position. He kicks for them as well. He does a lot of their kicking for line. He was, I don't even have words. He was amazing.
And he's quite a big 9 as well. It's quite built. Like it's sometimes I'm concerned if maybe he should play center or something. Quite a big guy.
Yeah, no, he's the future of the 9 position. He's up there.
100%, 100%. Cameron Godman. It's always quality to watch. Then at number 10, fly off position, I have Mateus Jalibert for France. He also scored a late try. That's
What? Okay, bro. I'm telling you, that France New Zealand game, you could take maybe 8 players that had outstanding games. He was one of them. He had an amazing game. And for a 10, he's a threat.
yeah.
Like when he runs with the ball, he's the threat. A lot of 10s, they don't have that running threat. Like Pollock, like Libok is one of them. But he's a threat. He almost is like a center. You have to watch him very closely because if he takes the ball up, he usually gets meters.
Facts. That's big facts. And sometimes, like you said, similar to Cam Record, where if the punt is playing, then the punt will be doing a lot of the kicking, so it gives him a chance to run.
Yeah.
And obviously with Ramos also moving back to fullback, it allows him to also play together. So they have so many playmakers in that team. So Mateus Jalibert with the try against New Zealand. And then at number 11, left wing, I had to put Colby on the left wing. You'll take a guess who's on the right wing. So Cheslin Colby on the left wing.
I'm guessing Will Jordan.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Try machine.
Bro, every try. And I don't know how, like, when you look at Will Jordan, Like if you look at like a Nonu, right, or you look at like Feywa also, you look at these players and you can see nah, this guy, he looks fast. You look at Will Jordan and like physically when you look at him, you're like, he looks like, you know, doesn't look that scary, but he's so deceptive in the way he moves.
Yeah.
He's so like it's like he always beats the first tackle. He
Mhm.
somehow always beats the first tackle. You rarely ever get him down with the first tackle. He's deceptive in his movement and he's quick. You don't realize how quick he is. Good hands.
Facts.
Yo, similar to Curly answer. It's like I don't even think
Mm,
it's like he scores every day, every single game.
facts. Yeah, no, 100%. Silky smooth. He looks like he's running in slow mo, but you can't catch him at all. Uh, and then in the inside center, Joe Hawkins. The Springboks England match wasn't a lot of backline showing going on besides the first half in the beginning. I have Joe Hawkins from Wales. He also had a quality match in the backline.
Okay. Honorable
Um,
mention Damien Dialindi. I think he had a good game as well.
yeah, I mean, he won player of the match, so he must have had a good game. What do you think?
Now I'm happy with that pick. I'm happy to go with that pick.
Okay, okay. And then on the outside center, I have Rory Hutchinson, Scotland a player. He won. I think he won man of the match for that match. They were playing against Argentina. You know how good Argentina are in terms of the attack, the backline, Santi Carreras. So he won. He was quite quality in that match. It's outside back, and yeah, I don't think there was any star performances. I know Quinta Paya he had a few. He had I think 1 or 2 assists in that match against
Now he had
France.
I saw the highlights of the Australia game as well. Um,
Mhm.
so both centers had a very good game for Australia as well. So shout out to them as well.
Yeah, they always do. Joseph Swali. And yeah, like you said, number 14, right wing, Will Jordan. Tried to squeeze him in there with Kobe. And number 15, uh, I was gonna say it wasn't much of a contest, but Hugo Keenan, he scored I think 2 tries, or he had a try and assist. But I had no choice on his 50th cap. Damien Willemse on the high ball, Dave Willemse straight from Paul Roos Airport. I had to put him there on the number 15 spot.
No, you can't go. You couldn't pick anyone else. Damian Willemse could catch a high ball that drops from an aeroplane, bro.
What?
That guy could catch anything in the air. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no. Whether he's kicking it to himself, whether somebody's kicking it to him, whether he's kicking it back, the 50-22, he does whatever he does. People say anything about Damien Williams, the controversies, whatever it is, off the pitch things, but when it comes to pure rugby talent, he's been consistent for the past, I
What
think, 10 years.
what of the pitch things, bro?
It just, is is the
What? I haven't heard what of the pitch things.
just he's a social media influencer, like with his style, it's people questioning his style, sunglasses that he wears, those things. I don't know what else would it be.
Oh, no, I'm just checking. I don't know. I wasn't sure what you were referring to.
Yeah, that's all I know. So Ingrid Williams, Stranzo Hornt away from Strang being Dean. So, we'll always be ripping David Williams and Veli Leroux as well. So he had a brilliant performance. I can't wait to see him play some more, and sometimes playing for the 12th jersey. And we'll see what Rassie picks in the Scotland match. Dean, that's it for the first match week of the Nations Championship. I'm looking forward to see what else the tournament holds. A brilliant performance from the Springboks against England. We'll see what they do at Loftus Versfeld next week. Let us know in the comments what your predictions are. If they're gonna win it, if there'll be a surprise and upset. There's a lot of South African boys playing for Scotland. Duan van der Merwe, is Skuman, etc., etc. You know, and we'll be following the Nations Championship up until the end. And also we'll be keeping up with the World Cup as well. The World Cup show, you just check it out, check out our playlist, and stay tuned. Dean, anything before we go?
Nah, man, look, I think the tournament is off to a fire start. Right now it's 3-3. 3 for Southern Hemisphere, 3 for Northern Hemisphere. So I'm looking forward to the next few weeks. It's got a lot of good games coming up. I think I wasn't sold on the tournament at the start because I just feel like there's too much rugby already. But I think this tournament is looking good. I think it's looking very exciting. So we'll see what happens. But Southern Hemisphere is going to take it, hopefully. But as you said, we'll be back next week. Like, comment, subscribe. Let us know what you're feeling. We'll
So
engage with you. Yeah. Till next time.
let's go. I see the sun is set there. Dean's View. We're out as well. Cheers.
Yeah.